Hello. Welcome. My name is Drake, and this is Touching the Edge. And this is the 40-day practice of saying yes to life, having more of a yes to life. This is this 40-day practice and really the culmination of several months of really setting an intention to thrive, regardless of what you have going on in the world. And thriving, in many ways, is about being good at change. That is the essence of what it means to thrive. You have to be willing to change. And if you're not willing to change, you won't thrive. One of the challenges that we have going on is that people are looking to create a past that actually never existed. It's like having an idealized version of your childhood or your early life. The truth is, and I know I have a lot of friends like this, is that at the time, as you were going through your 20s and a lot of different times in life, you were challenged. You were having relationship issues. It wasn't this ideal version of the experience, just like there wasn't an ideal version in any period in our historical past as a world and as particular nations. So we have to be willing to thrive. We have to understand that to thrive for a blacksmith right at the time of automobiles is to find a new way of making a living. That's thriving. Thriving is leaning into change, not trying to resist it. And so I just want to bring up right now one of the elements that I find important, which is understanding the cycle of change, the law of seven. So what I'm suggesting is this: every 7 years you have a transformation. You become something entirely new. 7, 14, 20, 21, 28, 35, 40, all the way through every 7 years. The two most crucial cycle of change periods tend to be at 28, which is the real threshold of adulthood, and 49, which is the threshold of middle age. And so we want to understand that this cycle is repetitive. There are elements that are similar in each of those 7 years. As an example, the 5th year of the cycle, there is always or tends to be a crisis. And we don't like the word crisis. Crisis just really means change. So we don't like the idea of change. But the crisis is, this moment in the 5th year of the cycle. So in that cycle at 28, that 5th year is when the person is 26. So at that age, what ends up happening in the 5th year of our cycle, and remember, this is repetitive. In the 5th year of that cycle, suddenly what we have done that we have found happiness with, suddenly it doesn't work. Suddenly, somehow, how we have defined ourselves, we are no longer that, even though we want to be. It's like an athlete who spent their whole life being in athletics, and suddenly they are no longer an athlete, not at least the way they were. So at 26, there is that moment of crisis. So at that time, what happens is that people are beginning to really sort of become afraid of the idea that they're growing up. What are they going to do with their life? So they start trying to do what has made them happy. So for a lot of people, that means drinking, partying, maybe sexual indiscretion. Maybe in the last cycle, that really worked. They had a great time. But now it doesn't work. So even though they're drinking more, taking more drugs, having more sex, or whatever it is that they do, it no longer works. I mean, it happens for athletes or people who work out. You know what I mean? They want to work out the way they used to. So they try to do more of what used to work, and it doesn't work, and so there's a breakdown. So in the 6th year of the cycle, there's a breakdown. The old ways of doing things no longer work. And so at that cycle, at 28, and at the age of 27, a lot of people are having breakdowns. They may be going into treatment. They may have some sort of implosion in their life. A lot of people die at the age of 27. Now, if we make it through that tumultuous period, the 7th year of the cycle is where we burn up and become something new, the year of the phoenix. And then it starts over again. We build through the first 5 years of other elements that are repetitive, and then that whole cycle reoccurs. So think about it. Think about your life and think about those periods. What was happening when you were 28? You're going to find that as you go back, this cycle fits a lot of what was happening in your life. And so if we know that, as we grow older, we can figure out where we are in our age in terms of where we are in that cycle and prepare ourselves and swim with the current of life. So let's do this together. Let's thrive. Let's thrive. So I'm going to ring the bell. I'm going to ask you to listen carefully. Here we go. There's an old saying, you can't step in the same river twice. You can't be who you used to be. Let's lean into change and become who we are meant to be. I bring my hands into prayer position and I bow to you. Namaste. Thank you.